Folks, we're going to try this again. Hopefully it's actually going to work and I'll be able to do these. Since k is equal to 3, this is number 1 on the practice test 1 for SAT. And I'm just going to cross out this k and put 3 here. I should have probably put on the top. So cross multiply, and the 3 really belongs up here. 3 times 3 is 9, and that is equal to x minus 1. So of course x is equal to 10, and I put the d there. Now I'm going to move this up a little bit if I can. Okay, let's see here. Nope, it's not letting me. Oh, I don't want to zoom in. There it is. Okay, I gotta learn how to manipulate this thing a little better. There we go. Okay. I is always equal to the square root of -1 in general in this case. Let's see if I can move this thing where you can see me. There we go. I don't know if you want to or not, but anyway, there it is. So we're going to add like terms, just like if it was variables. I isn't a variable, it's actually the imaginary number, but here it is. Let's get my pencil back. 7, -8 is -1, and 3i, 9i is 12i, so A is the answer. Pretty trivial stuff. Let's go to number 3. Come on, get over there. Oh, I see, I can't go any further. Get this out of my way. Okay. Armand sent M text messages each hour for 5 hours. Each generally is multiply, so we've got 5M texts that Armand sent, and Tyrone sent P text messages each hour for 4 hours, so that's 4P. And of course, if we add them together, we end up with 5M plus 4P. Again, these first few questions are always trivial. Most people get them right. Okay, so come on, get over here. Go. Kathy is a repair technician for a phone company. Each week, she receives a batch of phones that are needed that need to be repaired. The number of phones she has left to fix is 108 minus 23D. The negative 23 is the slope, and the 108 is her starting point. And so she starts with 108 phones to fix. That's y equals mx plus b, where b, they kind of changed positions on it because there's a negative value in there. So there you have it. Let's see if number 3. Okay, looks like we're adding like terms. Now you'll see that we started out with a double negative there, right at the very beginning. Right there's a double negative. That means we have x squared y plus x squared y, which gives us 2x squared y's. So it could be C or D. I've already gotten it to 50-50. Now I'm just going to add the negative 3y squared with the positive 3y squared, which means there's no y squareds. So it's C. The mistake there is a lot of people forget to distribute the negative. Okay, so number 6. We've got a pediatrician uses the model above. So 3 is the slope. That's the change in height per year, it looks like. And 28.6 is his length or his height to start with. So what is the estimated increase in inches of a boy's height each year? That is a slope, so it's 3. A. Just have to recognize it. Again, y equals mx plus b. This time they're asking about the slope instead of the y-intercept. This next one, let's see if I can get it down here where we can see it. Oh man, it's a long one. Okay, so kind of big. Let me move myself over here. There we go. All right, so we've got this big, ugly equation, and they want us to solve for p. We want to get p by itself. Well, really what we've got is a fraction times p. So m is equal to a fraction, a over b or whatever, or 3 over 4. Let's make it 3 over 4 to make it easy for you, so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So let's just make it a fraction, 3 over 4p. How would you solve for p? Well, you'd multiply by 4 over 3 on both sides, and you'd be done. So we're going to multiply by the reciprocal of what you see there. So the reciprocal is this on top, which is this one, with this on the bottom, which is also this one. So it's b. Right, let's keep going. let's see here. What do we got next? Myself out of the way again. Oh, watch out. When I first saw this one, I thought that I wanted to find the value of 4a over b by multiplying by 4 on both sides. But that's not going to do it. What we're interested in is 4b over a. So if a over b equals 2, b over a equals 1/2. Oh, sorry about that a. That is really ridiculous. Let me fix it for you here. Sorry about that. There. Oh, a. Oh, that's cool. I just touch it. There we go. So now I want 4b over a. Well, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to multiply both sides by 4. That gives me 2 on that side and 4b over a on that side, which is 2. Let's see. All right. Now, one of the things that I really like about multiple choice is that the answer is included in the question. So in this particular case, instead of going through the rigmarole of multiplying the top by -2 and the bottom by 3, or solving this equation, it's already solved. We just have to decide which one of these makes a solution. And if you can do this quickly in your head, you have to know your integer operations in order to do that. But -5 times 3 is -15, plus -8 is -23. So this -5, -2 makes the first equation true. Now, I noticed after the fact that this second equation is not written in normal terms. It is actually backwards. It's not written in standard form. So you have to be very aware of that. That means that if I were to try to substitute for this, remember that the x is on the wrong side on this particular question. So clearly -5, -2 does not make the second equation true. The second answer, let's switch these two. And so I'm going to put the y right there. -8 times 2 is -16 minus 3. And sure enough, I get the -19. Now, does that second answer fit the first equation? 3 times 3 is 9. Minus 32 is -23. And B is the answer. Now, for a lot of people, it might be a little bit quicker since the x's and y's are different to solve it. The problem with that, of course, is that you had to recognize still that the bottom equation is not written in standard form. All right, getting tougher, aren't they? Let's see here. How about this one? For the function g defined above, a is a constant and g of 4 equals 8. So g of 4 equals 8. So g of x, if we want -4, g of -4, we want to find out what is a times 16 plus 24. What is this? Well, this is 8, like they told me. And if that is 8 and I solve for a, I can find what a is using this. So I subtract 24 on both sides and I get -16, and then I divide by 16. So I know a is -1. Now this is the trick question. That's the trick answer, because that isn't what they ask for. They ask what is g of -4. Well, g of -4 is the same as g of 4. And that's the trick. You didn't have to go through all of this. All you had to do is recognize that this is an even function, which means that g of -4 is the same as g of +4, which means that it's 8 as well. Tricky, tricky, tricky. Be careful. All right. Let's see what else does. In general, there's always a trick to some of these. A line in the xy plane passes through the origin has a slope of 1/7. Which of the following points lies on the line? Well, 0,7 is not it. 1/7 is correct, because if you go, 1/7 is not correct, sorry. 7/7 is also not correct, but 14/2 is correct. And what I'm doing is I'm just visualizing it in my head. And 14/2 is out here at 14 and up 2. And we can see right away that that is a 1/7 slope. So the visualization worked for me on that one. So 12 is D. Let's see, what are we doing for time? Still have 5 minutes left. Okay. Which of the following is equivalent to this? Now that is some ugly stuff. But what I'm doing is I'm really looking at the reciprocal of this 1 over x plus 2 plus 1 over x plus 3. Now, a lot of people realize that this is a fraction and that we need a common denominator, and there's actually parentheses around these. And the trick for adding unlike denominators in fractions is to cross multiply, or think about it as cross multiplying, and then multiply the denominators, which would have given us this. If I add x plus 2 and x plus 3, I get this, and this is that fraction right there. Well, I want the reciprocal because that's what this is asking for. So the reciprocal is B, not A. And number 14, if x minus y equals 12, g to the x, 2 to the y. Interesting. Okay, so we want 8 to the 3x. It's 12. What is the value? Hmm. I would say that the cannot be determined from the information given and move on. There might be an answer to this, so I'll come back to it if I have time. Let's see. You might notice that I'm actually solving these. So A plus B, what are two possible values for C? A plus B equals 8. So let's give it two answers, 2 and 6. Cross multiplying gives us 14 and 12, which is 28. That's not it. So let's try 2 and 4. Duh. 2 gives us 14 and 8. 14 and 8 is not there. Okay, so it looks like we've got odd numbers. So we're looking for odd numbers, and we want it to have a sum of 8. So 3 and 5. So I'm going to make it 3 and 5, cross multiplying in this. So here, let me write it for you. 3x plus 2, 5x plus 7, and that's 10 and 21, which makes 31. So it's going to be D, and that's the answer. Looks like that might be, and I'm going to check the 41 as well by putting a 3 and a 5, and sure enough, 35 and 6 makes 41. There it is. And I still have some time to come back to this one. 8y is the same if, oh, duh, oh my God, of course it can be determined. Look, the trick is, this is really 2 to the 3x over 2 to the y, because 2 to the third is 8. I knew there was a trick here. So when they subtracted these, they're actually doing the division. Minus y is equal to 12. Is that 2 to the whatever 3x is over y is 12. Let me see now. That means that, what's the value of that? 2 to the 12th. Hey, there it is. Got it. All done. And I hope you got some insight into some of these, and I will see you back again.